Hello, I am the Manu fanatic. Today I'm not going to talk about Manchester United. I'm going to talk about I guess the chasm that we're having in the manosphere about MRAs versus MGTOW. This is really a response to RBK, Razor Blade Candy, and he's probably not. If he ever sees this, just want to let you know that I have a lot of respect for what you say. I do believe a lot of the tenets of men go in their own way. I have an issue with speech as well. I had a stroke, so some of the things I'm going to say may not come out the right way. But I've always been entertained by your videos and informed by them. But the recent one I have to respond to because I think maybe you're looking at the people that are advocates for men's issues. I think you're looking at it too simply, and I just want to let you know how I, as MRA, look at things, and I'm sure that there are several other ones, especially like Dr. Randacom, who looks at it satirically, but he makes you know that the same type of tenets that I have is the things that we are actually looking for. Now, as far as your claim about feminism, we're all anti-feminists. There may be truth to that, and we have to look at feminism for us when we're actually talking about it or making satirical things or about it. It's like low-hanging fruit for us. It allows us to have fun with it, and we get people to listen to what we have to say, because most people know that when you look at feminism, it is kind of what it is. It's a female supremacy movement at this point. So when guys like Dr. Randacom or Girls Write What, or anybody in the men's movement says something against feminism, you have to look at it that way. Yes, we're against them somewhat, but really what we're in favor are my tenets and what many people have. And these are not all of them, but these are ones that I look into as well. I did have a video about male suicide. Because of my stroke, it's hard for me to say everything eloquently that I'd like to. I'm not like Spetsnaz, who can just go on and on about stuff, or Barbarossa, or Stardust and stuff. Great intellectual minds. But anyway, I'm going to let you know from my perspective what MRA is. We advocate for male suicide. As you know, we as men, we kill ourselves 4 times more than women do, and it's still, even today, people don't really care. And those things that we want to get more shelters, we want federal funding for that. We want them to be out there in the mainstream media, so they know that this is an issue. I can tell that there were several times that I thought about it, but I didn't do it. I didn't really have anywhere to go. Now, since I have the VA, I have that. So I have something that I have that, but I got that by being in the Air Force. Those of us who don't have that ability, it's one of the very few male safe spaces now is going to VA. So we're also, we advocate for body integrity, i.e. circumcision. I have 2 sons. One has been circumcised, the other one hasn't. My first one did it. I didn't really think anything about it, but then when I heard what he went through, the sounds that came out of him, when my new son happened, who had special needs and all that stuff, I decided, no, I'm not going to have it. So he's not cut. And you know what? He's 17 years old, and he's special needs, so I still have to, take care of him and bathe him at times. But we have no problem with it, and this should be a big thing. People, there's no reason why to be cutting somebody's thing off like that. And I think you're probably from England anyway, so you probably don't have that issue. You're probably intact. So this is something that we talk about and we feel passionate about. It's not because feminism. That's why we're talking about what we're talking about. Obviously, the family court issues. I want to talk about shared custody or parental alienation, alimony for life. These things that we are very passionate about. I would say at the top of that would be, having the parent to be able to fathers still to be having time with their kids in a fathery environment, not having some person supervise your visiting time. Also about legal, back to family divorce. As you probably know, that the family court is stacked against men in this issue. So people who are part MRAs, we fight for that. We want more information out there. We want everybody to understand what happens and we all know what a scam it is and how much the divorce lawyers make out of this. And we want that to be stopped. There shouldn't be a pipeline from the divorce. I mean, it's like they're alimony chasers. It's the same thing. And I have a lot of people in my family that are lawyers, but these type of people are not real lawyers in my mind. Also, the sentencing differences between women and men. Now, this is one area where the feminists do really get into. Places up in Canada don't want women to go to jail for certain things, and I actually listened to somebody at a UU church that I go to. It's those of you who know about Unitarians, they're a very liberal church, and I'd go there to listen to what they have to say, and just somebody come up there saying that the worst thing that happened to kids that's caused poverty is women going to jail. Now, I had a problem with that because obviously there are 10,000 times more men in jail than women are right now. And in my mind, the worst thing that we've had over the last 40 years is that we don't have fathers in the house and way too many single mothers. So we advocate for that. If it's a crime, now obviously some of these drugs and that type of thing, maybe we shouldn't be putting them in jail, but you don't really want your father or mother being around your kid being high all the time trying to take care of your kids. So, but if it's the same offense, you should get the same time in jail. And that's not what happens. And you probably know this. But again, that's not us going against feminism. That's just the way it is, and we want to stop it. And to me, probably one of the biggest things is at the education. Obviously, for males on campus, it's just crazy with due process and the Dear Colleague letter, which I talk in some of my other videos. As somebody who supported President Obama, I said this when my little open letter to him about this was the worst thing ever he did. Basically, you just point at somebody and say, this happened to me and that person's life is over. And no one cares about it. And now we're seeing a little bit more. Some of the people like Chris Hoffman Summers has been on Fox News, but it's starting to come out more and more about this idea that this is a myth as far as all the rape culture on campus. So yeah, we end up dealing with feminists there because they want to go across that, because they know where that comes from and they know that gives their money to them. So, and as far as boys, they're falling behind in elementary or secondary education, and we advocate for that. We need to go back to where things that we knew how to educate our boys, tactile type stuff, building stuff, learning that way, and not think that the first thing you do is we're going to medicate them because they are a little bit different, they're a little loud, or they run around. We want them to have that. So when I hear somebody that I could respect like you trying to say the men's rights movement is going to fail because we believe that feminism is about all their little things about the vote that we're going to stop. I mean, that's so simple to look at it. It's funny. I mean, it's fun to have a go against feminisms, but they're the ones that have all the money behind them. So anybody that has the ability to go out and talk about men's issues, even though they might be called so many bad things, we don't need it from the other side or your side of the manosphere. Sometimes this is just my personal opinion, I think that I don't know if there's this idea that you believe that those are MGTOW, or it's like the evolutionary intellectual, the end of where we would go. Like you might start off with one of those white knights or a mangina or blue pill type guy, and then somebody who gets awake like I did. Now, maybe they become a men's rights advocate or issues guy like I am. Do you think that the next person or the next step is supposed to be the guy that's all red pill and he's never going to be, in regular society? Okay, you're going to go out and still have your sex and all that stuff, but you guys are not helping this situation. So if you're okay with that and you just want to be on your own way, that's great. I don't have no problem with that. But there's a reason why there are men's rights advocates. Those of us who are out there trying to do things about it. You may not like Paul Elam, you may not like Dean Hasme, or whatever. I give him a little bit of credit because he started their website, and I started there looking there, but I looked at everything, including MGTOW. Now, obviously, I'm married, and would never concede that I would ever be a MGTOW. But believe me, I understand. I believe a lot of the tenets of MGTOW. Stardust and Barbarossa about female nature. I believe all of it. I definitely have seen it. But I am what I am right now. But what I can do is I can advocate for my sons, men in general. It's just something that we should do. And even if you're if you're a MGTOW, I don't think you should stop. I think that you should try to support that as well. I do thank you for listening. If you want to talk to me about it, certainly do that. As I said, it's difficult for me to talk, and I know you have the same issues, and why you text and speech and all that stuff. And I've been watching and listening to your stuff for a while, and I respect for what you do, but I just think you went a little bit, the wrong way on this one. All right, then. You have a good day. Have a good day.